Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I hope you all are wonderful. I just have a few more invites to send out. Commissioner Donohue, you look, oh, that's Charles. I say Donohue, you look different. My bad. A few more invitations to send out. Sorry for that. I'm just getting out of class. But how are you all? Please introduce yourselves tonight. Commissioners, please feel free to come off mute and introduce yourselves while I just get these last few people joined. Commissioner McKinney, do you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing?
Good, beautiful. I haven't seen you so long. How are you?
Okay, all right, all right. Hello, everyone.
Well,
Happy birthday, Jamila.
Thank you. Happy
oh,
birthday to
happy
Bria.
birthday.
Happy
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Yes.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you all. While we're getting settled in, like I said, I just have one or two more invites to send from the Zoom webinar series. And then Commissioner McKinney, do we still have, I saw the email from Talbot Street.
Yes, yes. That's one of the emails that was sent out pertaining to the property that's right there. That one of the developers, it was we was going back and forth about it. It was they're asking for a letter as a whole for support. They keep that space as green space. It's not a property that can be too much developed. And
Okay,
it's in a yeah, so it's in a letter.
I see it. Do you think one of them will be able to join tonight?
Yes, CJ said he's willing to join and speak at the ASC meeting tonight. So
Okay,
let
so
me
if
make sure I touch bases with him right now. He said he's willing to do it.
okay, perfect. And then and the other one, CJ. Thank you, Commissioner. Once I get CJ added, if he could join, we won't have him have the community wait too much longer. I'm gonna go ahead, CJ Brandmeyer, and and share my screen. Thank y'all for the patience tonight. Some Tuesdays is a whole work day for me. Um, okay, everyone, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I hope you all can see it. So we can go ahead and run through the agenda tonight, trying to make it bigger. Okay, perfect. We'll do a roll call. We'll open it up with community discussion, so we can have a lot of time. It's our last meeting of the year. We usually have a little bit of a lighter last minute meeting of the year so that we can have time to close out any kind of conversation or discussion. The commissioners can have a good time to give some updates. We'll have updates from any of the council members' offices who are here, the 6th and 7th District MPD, if they join us. Um, the Moker's office, who's here. I think I saw Quentin or Wendy in the chat. And then we'll go into some of our speakers. So we have an update from DDOT about the Marionberry Avenue corridor safety study. So that shouldn't be too long. We have Cedar Tree Academy back tonight. If y'all remember, they've come to us, I don't know, maybe 5 times over the last 2 years, included in this commission, to talk about the new school that they're building in 8A06 and looking for BZA adjustment. They presented to us back in September or October of this year, too. And tonight is coming back. We have a presentation, a quick announcement from UDC about some of the work that they're doing at Anacostia High School. So I think that'll be exciting. I think that'll be ways that community and commissioners can support what's happening between UDC and Anacostia High School. The bid is coming back with their request that they came for. I don't think the Historic Preservation Office is going to join us, so we'll probably won't see from them. And then we have Talbot Street Green Space that's having an update for us tonight, and that's the community organization that Robin talked about. Red Brick is announced new businesses that are opening, so that'll be a quick update, and we'll get to interact with the new businesses. So we'll probably be out of here in like 75, 80 minutes, 90 maximum. I know we generally have a little heavier meetings because there's a lot going on at 8A. And then we'll have any votes. We had a couple of grant requests, but the applications didn't come in. So I don't think I actually received any votes, except the one from Commissioner McKinney about this Talbot Street green space. So if we do have any votes, we'll do those at the end of the night. So can I get a motion to move tonight's agenda?
Chair White.
Yeah, go ahead, Donohue. Is this to move it or you want to add to it?
Yeah, I just want to note that minutes are not on the agenda, nor is a financial review, which I want to just say that I insist and think that we should be doing that every meeting. Meeting minutes should be reviewed from last month's meeting, and a financial report should be given to the community every single month. So I know it's not on there. I'm just making it for the record that I think that that's very important for our community to hear every single month.
Thanks,
you.
Tom. Thanks, Commissioner Donohue. That's not on the agenda. The Commissioner Moore didn't have a chance to do the minutes, so we'll do the minutes at the next meeting for any minutes. And if Foreman, we don't have to do a financial report. I just want to say if we want to give a financial snapshot, we can, but we can have Freeman tell us how much is in the checking account and if anything was spent.
Chairman, just one follow up on that. I know it's not required for us to have this, but it is very important for the transparency of our commission of what money's coming in, what money's going out, and the fact that we have minutes to review as to what happened and to refresh us from last month's meeting. So
absolutely, Commissioner Donohue, and we are in full compliance. Our meetings are recorded. If commissioners are a little late in getting the minutes in, they will get them in. If you want to help with minutes, you can ask Commissioner Moore, how can you help her? And the Commissioner Freeman can give a snapshot. Our quarterly report should be public from the last quarter. Anytime community members
Chair, I'm just saying that every month we should be going over this, no matter what.
Every month, the Commissioner Freeman can give an update on what's in the account, what was spent. If anybody wants to see the last quarter report, is there. If anybody wants recordings, they reach out, and our minutes are public. Commissioner Moore didn't have a chance to finish them. Like I always say, you are able to help, right? Do some of that.
With all due respect to the commissioner, I am not the treasurer. I am not the secretary. So
okay. So yeah, and it'll be at the next one. But all right, thank you. We have that. So can I get a motion to move tonight's agenda?
I motion to move tonight's agenda.
Okay. Any more discussion?
I second.
Okay, second. Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, one opposition. Perfect. Let's do a roll call. 8A01.
Good evening, everyone. Tom Donohue, 8A01. Good evening.
Thank you. 8A02, Commissioner Foreman. Why does it say Freeman? Commissioner Foreman.
I'm here, present.
Okay. 8A03, Commissioner Davis.
Present.
8A04, Commissioner Moore.
Present.
8A05, Commissioner White. Present. 8A06, Commissioner McKenna.
Present.
And 8A07, Commissioner Ritman.
Here.
Okay, perfect, everyone. So let's go ahead and get started with some commission announcements. I have one more person to add, so I'm going to ask if you all kind of self-facilitate yourself, and we can just go in order, starting with Donohue, and I'm going to stop sharing.
Let's see, am I unmuted? So hold on. Okay.
We can hear you.
Good evening, everyone. So just a couple of quick things going on. Jamila, Chair White, I'm sorry. I need to get this put on January schedule for the development coming in on Nicholson Street. My single member district had a meeting with the developer along with Commissioner John Adams from 7B, who the project is coming in on Nicholson Street. It's going to be it's in John's territory, but because we're adjacent to it, we had our first meeting on it on Tuesday. And we'd like to ask that the developers be added to the January 2026 commission meeting for the full commission's review. By that time, it'll have gone through my single member district and John's in several meetings. So we'll be prepared for the commission. The other thing is we still are having some issues with the residents along Fairlawn. I have concerns about Anacostia High School. We have not seen any reports or testing that's been done. I have FOIA requested all of that information because several of the residents continued to have issues with sanitation, even though they had the initial cleaning. And I have requested to see the, these reports. I know Councilmember Chairman White had requested to see these as well. And so we just need to make sure that the school is sanitary and safe. And so I'll be waiting for the results of that. The last thing I'll say is this Saturday, the Fairlawn Citizens Association holiday tree lighting, Saturday, December 14th from 4 to 7 at Fairlawn Park. I actually think it's Triangle Park, isn't it? The little park? No, Triangle Park is...
It's
anyway.
fine. It's the same thing.
Oh, 1502 Marion Berry Avenue. It's the 38th annual lighting of our little Charlie Brown Christmas tree. So please, everyone, come out and join us. Join the Citizens Association and the Anacostia Coordinating Council in Triangle Park. Okay. So I'll have to double check on the date now because there's a conflict. Now that I'm reading it from somewhere else, is conflicting from when I was told. So I'll get you. I'll look into it during the meeting and just let you know. Sorry, guys. I thought it was this weekend, but East of the River DC News is saying it's the 14th. So let me see if I can find out. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Donohue. Can you just we'll follow up after to make sure the developer gets on the agenda.
Oh, and somebody just said Fairlawn. For information in regarding the Fairlawn Citizens Association, it's a longstanding citizen association. You can find information out on their website at fairlawndc.org, and you can actually become a member. They have monthly meetings, and it's a great source of information. So thank you.
Thank you. That's it? Okay. Commissioner Foreman.
Okay, hello everybody. Yeah, thank you, Tom, for giving out information that I was going to give out about my own SMD, but that's okay. The other thing is this. I've been working on the corridor here between 17th and 18th Street with the abandoned buildings and stuff like that. And we've been working, and we're hitting there. It's going to take a lot of work to coordinate with the city and with the MPD and stuff like that to clean this area up. Individually, dealing with a couple of different constituents here. They've been having problems with the electricity, heat, and stuff like that. So working on that. Also, getting some more information about the Anacostia High School, also within my district, and working with them to make sure things go better. That's the main part of it. And I'd like to thank everybody who gave me turkeys. We know Miss Warner gave me turkeys to give out to constituents. Believe me, they really appreciate it. I appreciated her efforts and able to bring those turkeys to me. I'm sure a lot of folks who felt pretty good and they were fared well. That's pretty much it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Commissioner Davis.
I'll be brief because I would like to leave time at the end for our constituents, but I just wanted to inform my constituents that I have been working on the business corridor with the liquor store as well as the surprise convenience store. And they're in the process of working with a contractor to cordon off the back part of the parking lot because there's a lot of activity that's taking place on the back part of the parking lot. So they are in agreement with me that we need to close off that back part. So that is in effect. I've also been visiting shelters and bringing back information to a lot of the unhoused individuals in the community, trying to convince them to seek shelter for the winter time. Unsuccessfully, I might add, but I have brought back the information to them, and I'm doing site visits, and Commissioner Foreman has agreed to accompany me on some of those trips. So we are actively trying to engage them and get them to come off of the street and go into the shelters. Also working with the J&D, formerly J&D convenience store at the corner, trying to get them to take more responsibility for cleaning up around their property and keeping the unhoused from basically building tents and sitting outside of the property and creating all kind of havoc in that area. So have a working relationship with a lot of the businesses on the corridor and trying to make improvements on the corridor. I know it doesn't look like much is happening, but like I say, it takes time and it's not going to get cleaned up overnight, but we are working toward that end. So that's what I would like to report back to the community. And if anyone has any ideas or anything that can help facilitate the cleaning up of this corridor, feel free to give me a call. I'm open to all types of, any suggestions, because I don't have all the answers and it takes a village.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Moore.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank the commissioners and chair, treasurer for collaborating on the turkey giveaway. I know that there were a lot of my constituents who weren't happy with DC Market getting the liquor license. However, I did communicate with him about some, concerns that the constituents had, and he committed to, making sure that he remained community oriented and helping out in the community the best way he can. So he, as an Ephraim, the DC Market owner, had contributed $2,000 to provide the community with turkeys. I assisted him activating that square patch that he has in the back, which will be called the patch, which will be used for community engagement or however the community see fit. He is the corner store DC Market at 16th and W is now undergoing renovations. He gave me a walkthrough. He has pulled everything out from ceiling to floor. So I'm really looking forward to having a really nice corner store that he'll provide, different levels of convenience. And I also want to say thank you to Commissioner Donohue, who assisted in getting the QR code. For that reason, we were able to collect the information from the families that received the turkeys. We did pass out 180 turkeys to families. And so with that QR code, though, we asked specific questions about whether or not there were families that had children. And with that information, we were able to pass that along to get those families toys coming up next week. So I just want to say AA worked together to ensure that, we could help out as best as we could. And with continued efforts and collaborating, I'm sure that we can do a lot more. So again, thank you all. And that is my report.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Moore. Commissioner Donohue, are you talking to us? No, I don't think so. I can go. I'll be brief. A couple of announcements if you didn't see them in our newsletter. Both of the liquor license for Commissioner Davis's SMD. So I'm gonna give you your update if that's okay. And then the one in Commissioner McKinney's single member district did not move forward with APCA. One because J&D, I know I'm saying J&D is a new owner, but I don't remember the name, but the formerly J&D, they did not show up to the protest hearing. And so the ANC showed up, and if an applicant doesn't show up, then their application is thrown out. So if they want a license, they have to reapply. And then the store that is in 8806 that was proposed to be on MLK Avenue, their application did not go through because of securing the lease information. So thank you to the community. I know a lot of people kind of galvanized for both of those stores to protest. And so right now, both the licenses will not be issued at this time. The second thing is we are working to schedule that town hall with the Deputy Mayor for Health and Human Services, Deputy Mayor Turnage, who was with us last month, and Director Bazron. And so we'll hopefully be able to have that in December. So look out for announcements on when that town hall will be. And that'll be an area to really, where we're hyper focused on the Minnesota Avenue, Marionberry, MLK corridor, following up on conversations we had with the mayor's office about a public safety and health plan. And then we had a good meeting at Cedar Gardens a couple weeks ago. That is the apartment complex, well, for people who know I live, but behind me, but on Cedar and 14th Street. They are dealing with very kind of deplorable housing conditions, especially with mice and rats, mold, and it's like dozens of people impacted. And so we had a really good community town hall with them last week, with Councilmember White, the Office of the Attorney General, I believe, came, their management company, plus the owners, and Office of the Tenants Association. So we're working with the council member to like make sure all of these improvements happen. But Cedar is a bigger issue. Like it's really a community that needs to be redone. There is new management coming into place starting in January, so they will be under new management. And hopefully that'll improve the conditions a little bit. And then the last kind of update is we are still getting that town hall with the Office of Attorney General in December, which will be virtual. So if you have not like gotten the properties in your single member district or your neighborhood, not necessarily your SMD, where it's really at the point of slum, and you know, real neglect, please get that list together because we do want to send them a list beforehand. So that's it. I'll put some other updates in the chat. Oh, East of the River Mutual Aid, we are having our 5th winter drive this Saturday. It's going to be at Fort Stanton Rec Center from 1 to 4, where we'll be giving out coats, new coats and winter accessories for adults, young adults, and children. Again, it's going to be at Fort Stanton from 1 to 4. No questions asked, no ID needed. Just come and kind of pick up. We unfortunately have to do a first serve first basis. And so we have enough for a couple, like I think 400 families or something, 400 people, let me not say families. So that is this Saturday at Fort Stanton Rec Center. And this is the 5th year that we have done this. So that's it for me. And I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Ritman, and then we'll do Commissioner McKinney for any updates.
You know, are you waiting on me?
Yeah, if you have any announcements for the community.
I do. Today when I was as far as I was on Shannon Place in Chicago today, and I'm gonna the fire as I was walking around the neighborhood this morning. I seen DC Water put these door notices on the constituent doors around there, and it says that on December the 4th at 8 p.m. for approximately 8 hours, the water will be turned on. So I don't know if everyone received this door notice on their door from DC Water today, but I want to put it be aware, and this all going to happen on December the 4th at 8 o'clock p.m. that you all will be without water. I couldn't get a good understanding to how far they was passing these notices out on the doors, but I know for a fact they was placing them on Shannon Place in Chicago.
Thank you, Commissioner McKinney, for that update. Thank you. I don't think we received an email alert. Commissioner Redman.
Good evening. Right now I'm working with Department of Housing and Community Development over here with the tenants at Langston Views. They're putting a petition together, unfortunately, because the new ownership is trying to do 100% increases on their parking fees in less than 2 weeks' notice. Exactly. Yeah. And they're only calling the residents who have parking agreements. They're only calling them on the phone. So I'm working with Office of Tenant Advocacy, the attorney Cristobal down there. I've been gone through the rental accommodations division, and followed up with Miss Pear down there, but it's something that's on the radar that's coming down the pipeline. Ownership also talking about they want to start charging the residents at Langston View $75 a month for outdoor parking at a rent control property. So now this is another fight that the residents need to work on at Langston Views with new ownership. So it's an ongoing struggle to make sure people are aware of what DC residents' rights are when they come and take over a new property. So that's keeping us busy over here. Miss Freya, thank you so much for the turkeys. People are still calling and saying thank you very much for that. And that's about it. Looking forward to seeing everyone at the Christmas party on Friday, whoever's showing up.
Thank you so much for the updates, Commissioner Ritman. I know you've been doing a lot of advocacy and organizing at Langston Views. So let's go ahead and do some quick updates from the MPD if we have them, and then we'll get into tonight's conversation. Commander Butler, nice to see you. This is the commander from the 7th District for those who are not familiar, but that's the single member districts 8AO 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, and 6. Hold on, let me see. And 7. No, 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry, 4, 5, 6. Commander.
All right. Can you guys hear me? I was having a hard time with my speaker there. You got me?
We can hear you.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, my picture's not a little better. I'm driving right now. I just want to thank everybody at the ARC. I just came from a Night of Miracles. It's one of the largest toy drives east of the river every year, put on by the ACC, who helps provide toys for MPD for their Christmas drive giveaway. So that's why I'm late coming to the meeting. First and foremost, I want to apologize for not having somebody else on ahead of me. Unfortunately, my management staff that's working right now are on 3 separate meetings all at the same time. But nonetheless, Captain Pulliam, I think usually attends your meeting or has one of her managers, Johnny Barnes, attend the meeting. Both of them were unavailable tonight, so that's why you've got me. MPD, Johnny Barnes is there. There he is. He's just a viewer, not a panelist. Nonetheless, we're doing decent. Coming into December, the district itself is about 16% negative in crime compared to the same time last year. The Sector 1, which is run by Captain Pulliam, which encompasses historic Anacostia, has the largest crime decrease across the entire district, which is a 23% reduction in overall crime. Couple things that we've been paying attention to going into December is our increase in motor vehicle thefts and increase in burglaries. We know this time of year people are going to go get what they want, and unfortunately sometimes they do it at the demise of good hardworking folks. So I just want to remind everybody, Johnny, can you put yourself on mute?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Sorry, Commissioner, give us a second. Or Commissioner, can you mute Lieutenant Barnes? Okay. So we have seen an increase, not necessarily in Anacostia, but definitely in other parts of our 7th district in Ward 8, is an increase in motor vehicle theft and an increase in burglaries. The one thing I would say that and I don't necessarily mean it to be comforting, is the majority of our burglaries have a domestic violence nexus. So if you've got family members or friends, or you're going through a scenario where you have a ex-significant other or family member that are not on good terms, this time of year we start to see increases in those type of burglaries, which is folks coming into your home taking stuff they shouldn't take, especially around the holidays. So be mindful of that. Make sure you're locking your doors, locking your windows, and definitely your sliding glass doors to your balconies. That's probably the number one entry point we see in our burglary cases, especially domestic violence related. Just because, if they've lived there before, they've been there before, they know typically that those doors are left open. The motor vehicle theft, again, we're down in the district in 7D relative to motor vehicle theft, but citywide going across the district. If you're going anywhere else in town, you're probably parking your car somewhere. We are seeing an uptick as usual this time of year in our motor vehicle theft. So, utilizing something like the club and alarm, making sure that you're leaving valuables out of sight is definitely something that we would, recommend. I do want to mention that this upcoming Thursday, the 10th, December the 10th, we'll be having the 70 Winterland event. That's going to be happening at Rise Academy Public Charter School on Reynolds Place. I just found out tonight from Scott over at the ARC that they're going to be donating and giving away over 100 bikes, helmets, and bike locks to children that attend that event. So if you got little ones and you need a bike this season, definitely come through. It's a great event. Santa will be there. We'll have a whole little winter wonderland set up for parents to take pictures of their children. And there's a ton of raffles and giveaways as well. So Commissioner, I'm going to leave it at that. I know you guys were thankful for turkeys. I have something planned for Christmas, the week prior to Christmas, so that probably that Monday or Tuesday leading up to it, we're going to be giving away over 150 turkeys in front of the 7th District. We're probably going to set up some type of, we'll set up a bunch of police cars, turn the lights on, hand out safety pamphlets, anti-crime pamphlets, and hand out turkeys kind of as people drive by. So if you want to partner up, be part of that, and advertise that as we get closer to the Christmas holiday, I'd love for you guys to be part of that. And I'll open up to any questions anybody might have.
Thank you so much, Commander. Okay, I'll open it up to the commissioners to see if you all have any questions for 7D and then for the community. Commissioners, any questions for the 7th District?
I have a general question outside of what was shared. Do you all have any statistics on what those lights do to people who suffer from seizures? Because I know at the end of my block and several blocks, the lights are always on or flashing. And I just, think about movies where it says can cause seizures and, you mentioned turning all the lights on. Is there any statistics around, those lights being on in that capacity?
So, ma'am, unfortunately, I can't speak to scientific type of findings of something like that. I'm not a doctor. I can't really speak to that. We don't have any statistics that I'm aware of relative to what police lights or what police lights and strobes may do to a normal person's vision if you look at them for long periods of time. What I can say is this, though. Captain Pulliam was very intentional about having the officers that are assigned to the Anacostia neighborhood to be mobile and move around a little bit more than they had been. Speaking to a couple of community members over the last 2-3 weeks, it appears that that's been more the case. Unfortunately, the Metropolitan Police Department utilizes those overhead lights as a form of deterrent as we patrol anytime we're stopped. So, we definitely are mindful of it. We've asked the officers that are assigned to your PSA not to be at that specific intersection of 16th and W so that they can give you some relief to that. And we've also asked them to make sure that when they are activated, that they don't necessarily have all of them activated, right? They can turn on the forward and rear facing lights and not the overhead ones that typically are the ones that are shining into people's bedroom windows. And trust me when I tell you, I empathize with you. I don't like looking at police lights either. So I get it. And we'll try to be as mindful as we can about that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Any other commissioners for questions for MPD? In the chat, I put the DC water announcement too. Go ahead, Tom.
Is 60 on or no?
No, 60 is not on, and I sent them an email every meeting right before. I send both commanders an email to remind them, in addition to their Zoom reminders.
I have one question, and it's just a general question. Commercial vehicles parked in residential areas overnight. What's the regs on that? Because I got a bunch of commercial vehicles now being parked overnight in the residential areas.
And what type of commercial vehicle?
Like ice cream trucks and stuff like that, and most of them have Maryland, Virginia license plates on.
Yeah. So there are parking restrictions within community relative to commercial motor vehicles. Typically, MPD will ticket and request them to be towed by DPW when we come across them. But you got to remember also that MPD is no longer the lead agency in parking enforcement within the District of Columbia. So Department of Public Works a couple years back took over that role, and DPW through the 311 app is the proper avenue to report overnight commercial vehicles. The Department of Motor Vehicle have ticket writing officers that work 24 hours, 7 days a week across all 3 shifts. So they are available to come out to overnight parking complaints. Now, I will say, DPW does a lot of things well. Just like us, they could have improvements in some areas. I do find that a lot of residential parking complaints, a lot of community members get frustrated when they call because they don't see the action right away. When you call 911 and you call MPD, we come out typically right away or soon thereafter. With DPW, it's prioritized. So a parking complaint may not get an answer right away, which can be frustrating. Trust me, I understand that. So what I would ask you to do is to forward if you have them, for the license plate numbers and the area specifically where they're parked, and then what the district commander, myself, or Commander Hickman from Newton, depending on where you live, is send an officer on the midnight tour to come out there. And if it's a commercial vehicle parked without a parking, permit, which 99% of the time they don't have them, it's very simple for us to ticket it, and then we enter it into our computer system, which will request DPW to come out and tow it, typically within 72 hours. And that's given that the ticket's still in the car when they come back. If the owner comes out and takes the ticket off, then we got to come back and put another ticket on it before DPW will actually pick it up. I hope that answered your question, sir.
Okay, yeah, that's good. But I went through that, and the officer the other night came through, and he referred me to DPW.
Yeah.
But he said there was nothing that they could do. And I explained to him, hey, this car, it's out here every night. And he said, well, their license plate is good. And I was like, well, their commercial vehicle is out of town, but they're parking in the spots every night.
So here's the thing. Back in the day when I came on the police department, I had to know all my parking regulations as violations, right? Because we were the lead agency that did that. We have officers that have come on our police department that have come on since or after DPW took over that role. And what you find is, because we're not the lead agency doing parking violations anymore, our officers aren't learning that to enforce it. So that may just be a misinformation on their part, which is why I say if you email myself, james.butler@dc.gov, and that's james.butler, BOTELER @dc.gov. I'll either, depending on when you will, I'll either handle it or I'll get Commander Hickman to handle it, and we'll have somebody that's working that knows how to write a ticket to come by and put a ticket on that car. It's not a hard ask, not at all.
And Commissioner Foreman, if you email Randy with DPW, she is really good. Because I had a commercial vehicle taking up like half a block, and they actually came to do a tow. So I can connect you to Randy, or you can look at the OANC liaison list, and then Wendy Glenn can help you too with the MOCR's office to get some traction. We have a couple of questions from the community members.
Sure.
One, Commander Butler, a mobile camera was removed from 2400 block of Shannon Place right across from the Metro. Is that coming back? It reduced a lot of activity that occurred at the entrance of the Metro.
Yep. So I actually spoke to a community member at the ARC tonight about that same thing. The short answer probably for now is no, it's not coming back at the time being. And I'll tell you why. So the Metropolitan Police Department for a long time had these mobile cameras that we were able to tow around and put up the big boom and had a camera and some lights on it. Those are being phased out for the pole cameras that you're seeing up on the intersections at the different locations on telephone poles. One, they're more effective. They're new technology. Those old pole cameras that you saw there, the mobile ones, they were at least 15 years old in technology that might as well have been 100 years old, right? So the new pole cameras that we can put up on telephone poles are much more efficient. They're better quality. They provide better video. So the mobile camera, probably not. Just because when they need to be serviced, we can barely even get parts from them anymore. Now, I will say I am working to get a fixed MPD camera on a pole in that block. That's just a matter of timing and funding. And as soon as we have some cameras available to deploy, that's on one of my priority lists to put a camera in that block, which will be a permanent camera that won't come down.
Thank you. Another comment about parking. They have a lot of Airbnb. I'll get back to you, Danielle, about Randy's last name. But we have a lot of Airbnb guests who park in front of our home, as well as other out-of-town cars. I have that problem too, Danielle. I think if your block does not have residential parking, then I think the best you could do if you see it there for like several weeks, like unmoved, it's called DPW. But if it's there for like a weekend and just because it's out of town tags, if you don't have residential parking and the car hasn't been there for like weeks or months, I don't think there's anything that any agency will do.
Yeah.
Thank you, Taya.
And Commissioner, one of the other things I found helpful with the Airbnbs, because a lot of these Airbnbs are not licensed and they're not being regulated like they're supposed to be, is if you have a problem with one of those and the owners, most of which, let's be honest, they don't live in the area, right? They live outside of the area, is to contact DOB or DCLP and have them look into the licensing regulation, because that's a pretty hefty fine. And if they're not being neighborly like with their tenants and making sure that the folks that are renting their properties are following the rules and regulations that they should be, then they can be held accountable for that.
Thank you, Commander. All right, and so the last question will be from Donohue, and then we are going to move on.
Hey, Commander. Thank you very much for your continued service to our community. I appreciate that. I just want to stress the fact that I know you're not 6D, but we need to, and I'm sure I hope I speak on behalf of the Commission when I say that it's really important that we have representation from 6D at our meeting.
I agree.
It should be a priority, and it's inexcusable for them not to be here. And so I need you to escalate that up to Commander Hickman or whomever, and to let him know that the Commission feels that that's inappropriate for there not to be representation at this meeting.
Duly noted, sir. I actually will. I'll give him a call here when I get off this call, but I will be with him tomorrow morning.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's important that we hear.
And here's the thing, right? Like, and I'm not making excuses for him, right, or anybody else for that matter. We're all busy, right? So are you. Every one of you have a job that you're doing this on top of, right? So trust me when I tell you, there's somebody in 6D right now that's working that could be on this call, even if it's not the commander or his captain or so forth. So that's something that I even in 7D, with all the different ANCs and civic associations, and there are a lot of meetings, right? Like I mentioned at the beginning when I came on, I think we're on 3 separate ones right now in Ward 8. However, that's not an excuse to not just be on there, right? Like everybody that gets together that has these meetings has a stake in the community. In fact, I want to be on these meetings because you're the folks that want to see change in community. You're the ones that are doing something about it, right? It's the folks that aren't taking the time to do this that really don't regulate an audience. So yes,
I appreciate that.
I empathize with you, and I'll make sure that going forward you have some representation from your district.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I have one quick question. In regards to the ICE arrest that happened, I know it's not it's a 6D. Sure. I was wondering if there was a way for us to get a sense of how many stops that include
federal government
an enforcement that ended up with ICE being involved. In other words, I have what I'm learning more about my SMD from this incident, and because I'm trying to help the family and stuff, is
Sure.
that I have a lot more residents in my community than I thought I did. And so I need to better understand whether this is a larger problem than in order to represent them well. So if there's any way that we could collect some data or information informing the commission of how many immigrants are being detained, I know it took me an entire week to find the family of that particular person. So, I just think it's important for us to have an understanding of how often this is happening to our neighbors, to our residents, um, and be able to make sure that we're providing support for them.
Sure. And thank you for the question. I agree with you. I think transparency is very important in these times that we're in. But what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to refer you to the office of the mayor. The mayor is the spokesperson for everything federal deployment in our city right now. So you either the mayor's office or Chief Smith, and they should be able to provide you with some data to answer your questions. But I can tell you, as a district commander, I don't have that data readily available to me because you got to remember that the federal task force is working through the United States Marshal, and that information is being fed to the federal government, the chief of police, and the mayor's office. So I would look at those two locations.
Is it possible we can send a letter up to the chief's office with that requesting that information?
You can ask for a vote for that.
Absolutely.
Just make sure you get it formulated together.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, Commander. I am going to move on to get us started for tonight in our conversations. And so I just wanted to, I'm going to go in this order so you can come off mute and remute yourself, and we're going to go a little quickly.
Right.
I'm going to invite Sheila Byrne from Councilmember Trayon White's office, who I see, to give any announcements from the council member's office. Anyone in the community, if you have questions or you want to contact the council member's office or MPD, now is your time. And then after Sheila, we'll go straight into Wendy. And then we will get started with our kind of panelists. So Sheila, then Wendy. And Ms. Lynch, we'll come back to your comment. Well, this is maybe a comment you can ask your commissioner and Sheila.
And it's me. I'm sorry, it's me, Jamala Quentin. I don't know why I'm saying Wendy.
Oh,
Hey,
okay, my bad. But we'll go to Sheila and Quentin.
hey, Jamila, let Quentin go first. I'm actually transitioning from my car to inside.
Okay,
So
we'll
you go first.
Go ahead, Quentin.
Okay. Hey everyone. I got a couple of updates from the mayor's office. First off, it's hypothermia season, so the district we're committed to ensuring that people experiencing homelessness have access to shelter from November to March. When unsheltered residents are at greater risk of hypothermia and other cold weather injuries, you can find all updates and statuses on code.dc.gov. I encourage everyone to go register. Again, code.dc.gov. They have all of the current alert statuses for hypothermia season. Also, Serve DC, the mayor's office of volunteerism and partnership, is deploying a snow team again this season. Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. At 2235 Shannon Place. They will have their informational session. Also, you can collect materials for the Snow Team Heroes Initiative, where they're volunteering to shovel and rake and blow snow and put salt down and things like that for elderlies and seniors in our ward. So if you know any seniors that, and it's no apartments and townhomes, it's just single family homes. So if you know of any seniors in your area, you can get them signed up on a snow team .dc.gov initiative. Also, DPR winter programs are still open. I encourage everyone to go sign up for them and encourage the community to go register for those programs, because the statistics show that in our ward that we are not signing up for DPR programs. So as of right now, the aquatic programs are open, team sports, out of school time, and senior center programs. Last and final update, as you all know, the mayor will enter term January 2nd, 27. But until then, we will be running the tape and keep winning for DC. So I encourage Jamila, as the chair, you have a wonderful understanding of what we do and, like the limits of what we can do and what we cannot do. So if you can encourage your team to please get those concerns and issues like you was just talking about, as far as DPW and getting those things expedited, please, you can get them to me as soon as possible, because I will be running the tape until probably next November. So I'll be here. I'm gonna stick it on through to the end. So please get those things to me.
Thank you so much, Quentin. Quentin, could you put your contact in the chat for folks who don't have it?
Okay, I will.
Okay, perfect. Any questions for Quentin from commissioners or community before we move over to Sheila? Okay, thank you, Quentin. Quentin, especially if you could put the hypothermia information, I encourage everyone to save this number in your phone, because when I go through every 2 weeks, I'm calling the hypothermia for someone. They may refuse to go. We can't force them, but we do have a lot of unhoused people who are staying the night on like church. See a lot of churches actually, and then some of the nooks and crannies in the business corridor. So this is a number I really encourage you to save. It's the hypothermia.
Okay, I'm gonna put my information in right now. So please contact me. Don't hesitate, please.
Okay. And Commissioner Davis, do you have a comment or question for Quentin?
No, I don't.
Okay, I saw you off mute. Cool beans. All right. So,
I'm sorry.
you're good. You can stay off mute. That's fine.
Okay.
Hello, hello.
Is it me, Jamala?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in between like 3 different events. Good evening, 8A. I hope all is well with everyone. Just a few updates. Today was a legislative day at the council. If you had the opportunity to watch, Councilmember White was really fighting hard for 2 of our rec centers here in Ward 8. One was the Congress Heights Rec Center, as well as the pool associated with Anacostia. Just very quickly, I know it's not 8A, but there are, in terms of our rec facilities and providing safe spaces for our young people, Councilmember White got a rec center to be built, or is being built at Congress Heights, a brand new one. It was supposed to have a pool, but we recently found out that for several reasons that there will not be a pool, but instead a splash pad. So we've met with community, and community is very adamant about having that pool. So it's kind of a policy fight between or I'll say disagreement between the council member and the executive. So we are really pushing to make sure that that pool happens at Congress Heights. And the way that it affects the Anacostia pool, separate and apart from that, the mayor has sent down a reprogramming to pull some money from the renovation of the Anacostia pool, as well as money from the Congress Heights Rec Center to supplement funding at the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. So these are all 3 projects that we support that will be beneficial to our young people and to our families in providing healthy and safe spaces. But we're just trying to figure out how we make sure Ward 8 gets what it has asked for and deserves. So there was legislation today, and it didn't work out, but we have another bite at the apple on December 16th, which is the last legislative meeting of 2025 for the council. So please, 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 even though it's not an AA, please reach out to the other council members and encourage them to support Ward 8, particularly our at-large council members, as this issue will come up for another vote on December 16th. I'm sorry.
Sheila, that's for Congress Heights to have a pool?
For Congress Heights to have a pool, but also to make sure that funding is not taken away from the Anacostia pool modernization. That project has already been delayed, and additional monies are being proposed to take away from that project to supplement the gap in funding at the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. So we're not trying to have all of our projects pitted against one another. So we need the executive to think differently on how to fund some of these opportunities.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for interrupting you.
That's okay. Last week, Thanksgiving, I hope everyone had a awesome Thanksgiving holiday. with the support of community stakeholders and other partners, we were able to feed 1,000 residents for Thanksgiving with turkeys and produce. I'm so really happy that we were able to do that on such short notice. We are planning to do something similar for Christmas, maybe with a different spin on it, celebrating Kwanzaa in some type of way, but also helping our neighbors and families that are living in the 2 shelters that are in our community. So more information to come on that. But we want to continue the spirit of giving back to community. And then lastly, I think I want to share, we're in December. Within a month or two, we will be in budget season, starting with performance oversight. So I really want to encourage 8A to start thinking about what your budget priorities are for fiscal year 2027. We will be holding budget discussions, but we really want the input of all of our ANCs to help shape the priorities that Councilmember White pushes for. So I will stop there, Chair White. Thank you for the opportunity. And if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Sheila. You actually answered one of my questions in those updates. So we have a couple of questions from the community. I'm not sure if you could answer them, but maybe whoever's the single member district, is there update, excuse me, on the senior citizens, Kramer? I don't know, Tom, if you've heard from them.
Yep. So thanks,
Go
Carol, because I had just had a conversation with them today about this. So I was about to report on it anyway. So thanks for the question. So the Ward A Senior Wellness Center is still on track. They were hoping to break ground by the end of this year. It looks like it's going to be the beginning of the first quarter. So it's in the procurement stages of it, and it is definitely moving forward. So I had called them last week in regards to seeing if I could get an update. And so they're in the process of procuring the general contractor for the project, and so it's anticipated that early in the first quarter they will break ground to this great project.
Thank you, Commissioner Donohue. Any questions for, okay, Ms. Bond, can we place our alleyways in the budget to get repaired? Thank you, Ms. Ivy. It's located between 1375 and 1377 Morris Road.
So what I would say is, and the short answer is yes, we will take that under advisement. And I'll work with Quentin to make sure that we can make sure that that alley is a part of Alley Palooza when the mayor typically gets those things done. So Jamila, I don't have, because I'm in between locations. If you can just shoot that to me, so that person's address, or I'll drop my contact information in the chat. And whoever asked that question, please email me so that I can make sure that our legislative team is aware. So as we're starting budget formulation, we can check on that. And then I can also talk to Quentin about Alley Palooza as well.
Yeah, it's 2 private alleys that nobody seems to own and nobody knows.
Oh, it's a private alley. Okay.
Yeah. It's 2 of them on in 8A06 and 05 that have been a problem, but we'll send you the background.
Yes,
Okay.
please, because I've been hearing about these alleyways for like the last couple of meetings, but I just haven't got a specific location. So someone could pinpoint them to me, please, so I can get right there and see and get and flag that as soon as possible.
And Jamila, are these actual alleys or are they paper alleys? Is it an actual alley?
Paper alleys.
It's a paper alley. Okay, so that might require legislation.
One of them is an actual alley and one is a paper.
Okay.
And then we have somebody wants to know information about what's happening at UMC redevelopment. And I'll have that be the last you, Sheila, because it's we're moving into the next hour.
What's the specific question about UMC? Is the question what are they doing with it?
Happening? Yeah,
got it. So so right now the city is stabilizing that facility. As it gets colder, folks have been breaking into the site. So DGS has had to go and repair and board up. There's no equipment inside that has been shipped off to other places that need it. So right now, the city is in the process of trying to figure out what the next step is for that location. So within the next few several months, we should be hearing about a meeting to discuss what the possibilities are for that location. And Councilmember White definitely wants to hear from community around ideas for what could be at that prime location. We've heard retail, we've heard senior housing, we've heard a number of things, but we want to make sure that it is done in collaboration with community. So right now the update is there is nothing happening right now, but within the next few months, there will be a meeting and conversation around next steps.
Thank you so much, Sheila, Ms. Bond, for those updates. We greatly appreciate Councilman White's office for being present and hosting several community meetings in 8A over the last month.
Yes.
So,
And I'm sorry, Chair White, can I say one other thing? I'm just very, very quickly going back to all of the projects that are happening in Ward 8. There's a lot happening between rec centers, between our senior wellness centers, between the development that's happening at St. Elizabeth and the possibilities of UMC. It's really, really important for us to keep our eye on the prize and make sure that collectively we are advocating for the things that we want in the community. Councilmember White has heard 8A's cry to have that methadone clinic moved. We've reached out to the mayor's office. He's continuing to push on that. So situations like that with community behind us, that gives us a whole lot more push. So just want to make sure, especially as budget season comes up, that we as a community are collectively raising our voices together. Thank you,
thank you for
Chairman.
elevating that. I think we need to make a lot of noise. Like this could be a Bowser legacy.
Yes.
Something to remember her by.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then I don't know if you can access the chat, Sheila, but some people have questions, but they're outside of 8A.
I got it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's go into a straight conversation. So we're gonna move pretty quickly. I think they're mainly announcements, but we'll start with Christina, and then we'll go to Lindsay from Red Book. Christina from the Anacostia Bed, then Lindsay from Red Brick. Hold on, do we have the Talbot Street homeowners people here yet? I mean, the Talbot Street Save the Park, the green.
Yes, CJ is on. Yes.
Yes, I'm online. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Actually, I'm sorry, Christina. Let's go to CJ first, and then we'll go to Christina, then Lindsay.
Oh, hey, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
The agenda. Thank you, Commissioner. And thank you, Commissioner McKinney, for inviting us to speak today. Chair White, do you have a copy of the document, the resolution to share with the group by any chance? I was unable to share my screen.
Can you forward it to me and I can share my screen and you can walk through it? I don't see it. I just have the email.
Check your ASC email, Jamila, and the other email. I sent it to you this afternoon.
Okay, let me look.
Not critical. I'll go ahead and start, and then if you can pull it up, that would be great. We're just going to humbly request your support of the resolution that we'll put before you. And I don't know what the process is because I haven't been involved in submitting a resolution before, but we're open to either resolving that this meeting or in the future if need be. But my name is CJ Brandmeier, and I serve as the ad hoc committee chair for the Anacostia Homeowners and Residents Association, which represents more than 70 households in ANC 8A, which straddles both Berry Farm and historic Anacostia. Our advocacy for the green space that I'm talking about has been a relay race carried forward by neighbors for more than a decade, and I'm simply the current torchbearer continuing the work of our community. I'm speaking today about property in Square 5869, lots 87 through 95. That's a long-standing green space at 1303 through 1319 Talbot Terrace Southeast. And this green space land has deep community roots. In 1977, after residents and the district filed a lawsuit of racial bias in housing against the original developer, Arthur Morissette, the property was deeded to the Anacostia Economic Development Corporation in trust for AHRA and a tax-exempt status. And for nearly 50 years, it served as our neighborhood small park and a stabilizing presence for families in our community. But in 2016, after a series of years of irregular taxation on what should have been a tax-exempt nonprofit parcel, the land was sold at tax sale, disrupting a decades-long example of community stewardship and undermining one of Ward 8's few examples of a land-based reparation. Today, permitting is moving forward for construction on this steep, geotechnically sensitive site. Many residents fear a repeat of the adjacent River East at Grandview condominiums disaster, which occurred in 2021, where the slope failure displaced first-time homebuyers and left buildings condemned, and our own commissioner was a victim of that tragedy. And compounding these concerns, the current owner of the adjacent Talbot Terrace green space, that's our parkland, was previously convicted of a felony for falsifying 25 building permits to DCRA, and just last month received a stop work order for evading wall checks when building a series of row homes on a separate development on Elvins Road. Preserving this land aligns with district priorities. It aligns with the capital space plan, big idea number 6, which emphasizes the importance of small neighborhood parks, and also aligns with the district's goal of 40% tree canopy coverage by 2032. In recent months, we've worked closely with Prolog DC, the team behind the Mapping Segregation Project, and their research confirmed that the parcel represents a vanishingly rare example of land-based reparation in the nation, one of a handful of examples of a restitution won by the community itself. If construction moves forward, the historic reparation will be permanently erased. And for all these reasons, we respectfully ask the ANC to support the resolution. Your vote will help us continue our advocacy with the mayor and the DC Council to ensure geotechnical safety, correct a historic injustice, and preserve the community green space. So thank you for your time and service to Ward 8.
Thank you, CJ. You all came before us. Well, the Talbot Street community group came before this commission last year too, and we did a letter of support to save that space and turn it back over into community green space and non-taxable land. I think a lot of people, if the new commissioners don't know, he's talking about, Talbot Street, where it's like that steep hill that goes down to MLK. That's where Commissioner McKinney used to live, where the condos were inferior and displaced like 40 plus families. It's a green space up there that this community has been trying to save. So that it won't be developed on. As a lot of you all know, Ward 8 has a lot of green space, but a lot of undeveloped green space, meaning that it's not developed for use for people. So thank you, CJ, for asking this new commission to support a letter to the mayor's office and, government agencies and council, I'll add, to put this green space back into a non-tax status and to be used by the community and not to be used for development. This is Commissioner McKinney. Commissioner McKinney, do you want to say anything before we open up for any questions?
I want to echo what CJ was saying, that for a long time, this Talbot Street community has taken care of that green space. And it's just sad to me that this happened, because this developer have never took care of the space. They cut the grass. They even built a playground for the children to have a safe place to play that lives in that area. And the green space is very important. You have wildlife animals that are there, such as our foxes, our deers that utilize that park as well in that green space, and so does the animals. As far as the pet friendly green space, and we want to keep it that way.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner McKinney. Any other comments or questions from other commissioners? All right, thank you so much. And Commissioner McKinney has access to do a vote later on. Yes, CJ, if you could resend it, my email is not allowing me to open it. I'm having a little issue, but we can write our own. And yeah, I think there is a community petition. Thanks, Ms. Ivy, for asking them for the petition. Okay, Christina Noel, are you back on?
I am here.
Okay, over to you, and then we're gonna go to Lindsay.
Okay, well, over a year ago, we kind of came and talked about this, but it's actually here now. We're looking at expansion of the Anacostia bid boundaries to include the 11th Street Bridge Park, finishing up with Berry Farms, and actually creating connections with the Bridge District and the military bases, JBAB Bowling and Bowling, JBAG Navy and Bowling Air Force bases. So the reason why I wanted to come and connect with you all again about this is that we kind of lost track. Well, we've been on top of it, but we kind of had to stop because there were some changes with the introduction of the legislation, and it was picked up again by Councilmember McKenna, who reintroduced it, and with Councilmember Robert White and Anita Bonds. Councilmember Trayon White was fantastic in seeing the vision of how we connect communities and the opportunities that come with the connection of those communities, and how to drive not only foot traffic for the small businesses, but to hopefully drive tax revenue and other opportunities with regard to workforce development, economic development as a whole. But one of the major parts that we've been pushing for this is the 11th Street Bridge Park. This community has fought, it's more than a decade now, aggressively, and has been at the table for the 11th Street Bridge Park since the idea came about, the inception of it. And the equitable study that the 11th Street Bridge Park B-Bar has done is based on this community pretty much. And we want to make sure that that park is part of this community, historic Anacostia, Fairlawn, east of the river, and speaks to the culture and the arts and culture district that we are today, but also speak to the history that emanates from this side of the river. So anyway, I'm just kind of updating you because it's been a while since we've talked about this, but I do feel like it's very important that we keep you in the loop on how the bid is expanding, what we're looking at doing with innovation, because technology, if you don't know, and I hope most of you do, is a big deal over here. And we've partnered with multiple universities on different certification programs where you don't have to have a degree, but you can get a certification in cybersecurity and in AI, and actually be an entrepreneur and get contract work right away with an organization or a business that is working on different contracts. So there are multiple reasons why we're doing this expansion. By the way, this is my 7th year with the bid, which seems, I don't know, like yesterday. It's super weird. But I wanted to just bring that back, make sure we're all on the same page. We still have the excited support that we had a year ago, and that's it.
Thank you so much, Christina, for this update. That's in Commissioner McKinney, and I think a little bit of Commissioner Foreman, single member district primarily. Commissioner McKinney, any questions or comments you want to make?
No, this is something I guess that I want to echo Christina about that she's been, trying to get in place as far as expansion of the bid district. They does so much work in our community. I mean, like when I'm outside at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, walking the dogs, I see the guys out there cleaning up. She's been very active in this community. So we want to support her as much as we can.
Thank you. So go ahead, Christina.
No, I was just saying thank you. Coming to the ANC, we really want to make sure when we come, we have major updates for you. The 295 underpass, You're probably wondering like where we are with that at this point, because that was a big deal, and it still is. When the city shut down, when the federal government shut down, that kind of slowed down the permitting process. But I want to reassure you or assure you that that project is 100% taking place. And another reason why it's very important to expand even our presence in the park past the 11th Street Bridge Park, because we want it to be, that's our geographic area. We want it to be as exciting and beautiful and inviting coming to our own park, just as it is if you're coming over the beautiful Frederick Douglass Bridge into the Anacostia Park. So that is still taking place. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Chris.
Hey, Jamila.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Go ahead,
I
Quentin.
wanted to piggyback real quick, just real fast off of that, because this bridge is truly important. I've been studying about this bridge for, I say, about 2-3 years now. So I know that it will gentrify our community. It's a known fact. So I really encourage everyone on this side of the bridge to start to get involved and invested right now. Right now, because this is the second bridge park in America, and the first bridge park was in New York, and it surely gentrified the Black and brown community. So this bridge is connecting from Anacostia to Navy Yard, or what is that, on that side. So just want us to be involved and be connected right now, in this 11th Street Bridge Park.
Well, I
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
for that comment. I really thank you for that comment, because that's why, one of the reasons why we want to make sure that there is an opportunity for the east of the river to be able to market, like before the shovels are even in the ground, that it is part of this community, and we can speak to the culture, the history, and because there is slated to be about 1.2 million people that visit the park every year, that's something that is definitely going to take place. So I really appreciate your comments, because that is a fact. And I do applaud the 11th Street Bridge Park, because they did institute an equitable development plan, and in order to try to curb some of what happened in New York. It's called The Line. And, we do have an opportunity to, know what kind of businesses, like there are going to be small Black businesses on that park. We're an arts and culture district, because we're expanding over it. Arts and culture will absolutely be a part of that park. So again, thank you for your comment, and that's real.
Thank you. I think I see a comment from Commissioner Davis.
Yes, I understand that you're expanding towards in the opposite direction, but my question is, has any thought been given to doing anything on the small business corridor on Minnesota Avenue? We're a direct path that is going to lead to the park as well. People are going to come, that are coming from Maryland, are going to come down the Minnesota Avenue corridor. And right now, this area, our area over here, is in need of a lot of attention. So have you all given any consideration to doing anything to help clean up the Minnesota Avenue corridor? Because what has happened when you all started cleaning up Mayor Berry and formerly Good Hope Road, all of the illegal activity got pushed back into our residential community. So now we're suffering, and you all are cleaning up and expanding in the direction of Berry Farm, Southwest, and because of the 11th Street Bridge project. But we need some assistance on the Minnesota Avenue, because you all are kind of like responsible for pushing all the drug addicts and crime into our
I
communities.
just want to say, Commissioner Davis, we still have a lot of people in AO 456. I don't think anything has reduced over here at all. But I'll turn it to Christina to talk about what that bid process is like.
Right.
Because you do have to have a certain number of businesses to have a business district.
I mean, there is a process. and there's definitely a financial piece to that. We're always open and willing to assist. I think this is a discussion that we'd have to have kind of offline to see what that actually looks like. I believe, I know Quentin's on, but Wendy Glenn had thought that that was part of our bid at one point, because, we're aware and they're aware that there is some assistance that's needed over there. I don't know, again, I'd have to go and look at it and what that would mean, because we have a very small team that does a whole lot, and capacity, it matters. But that's not that I wouldn't look at it, and it's not that we couldn't come together on certain days and do things. I mean, we just have to really kind of sit down and take a more detailed look, and I think it's definitely a conversation that we can have. I just can't answer at this moment. We've got to just look at it together to see what we're able to do.
Okay.
Thank you.
And when I say together, I mean you and I.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think you all have connections. And just so everyone knows, if 11th Street Bridge District, which is in 8A, if it doesn't go to the Anacostia bid, it will go to a Ward 6 bid. So, because they're going to apply for a business district. So I think it's important for us to at least ensure that the business district is in Ward 8, because the property is in Ward 8 and not a Ward 6 Capital Riverfront business district. Having control over the 11th Street Bridge, basically, is what will happen. Is what a proposed is another alternate proposal up there too. That Capital Riverfront Bridge should enclose. But okay, thanks, Christina. I don't see any more comments from the commissioners, and I'll make sure to connect you to the Fairlawn commissioners this week, so you all can find time to connect.
Thank you.
Okay, and then we have an update from Lindsay Morton from Red Brick.
Yes, thank
Ron
you.
Collins.
Yes, thank you so much, Chair White, and thank you to your fellow commissioners for the time tonight. I know that we're getting to the 8:30 mark soon, so I'm going to utilize the chat for the majority of my updates. But I just wanted to bring forward some fun and exciting news from the Bridge District. So check out the chat. You'll see an announcement about an upcoming event that we're doing this weekend for the holiday celebration. As well as I will be reminding you about Atlas and its opening, but I'm going to yield the bulk of my time to Ron and Carolina, the duo behind Cafe Chino. Right before the Thanksgiving holiday, we announced an exciting business that will be coming to the Bridge District, and Ron and Carolina are here tonight to say hello and start to learn more about how you all will access their space here, all the details around what's happening in community, and also talk to you a little bit about their business, their amazing family, and their brand. So without further ado, Ron and Carolina, I will turn my time over to you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lindsay, and thank you to the commissions for inviting us to speak.
Hello, everyone. Thank you again.
Yeah, we're really excited to be coming to the Bridge District in early 2026. We are a cafe concept. We originated inside a plant store over in DuPont Circle, but we actually live in Southeast, so it's really wonderful, like serendipity that we're able to open our first brick and mortar at the Bridge District. We focus on sustainable and intentional sourcing of our coffee. We also offer tea, and we're going to be sourcing pastries, smoothies, and juices as well at our new location.
Yes, and a lot of local support, mainly on not only in the community but business to business. We really wanted to activate our sourcing in the community, and also in workshops, events. Just really, we've done a lot to, and me personally, I'm from the area, DMV, all over. I have really deep ties to Southeast, MLK, Brothers Place, Bowling Air Force, all of that. So it is a big moment for us to be part of this journey and this new venture.
In addition to our food and beverage offerings, we're also going to be kind of trying to brand ourselves as a micro arts and culture center. We've done that on a small scale over at our pop-up in DuPont. So we've hosted like jazz nights, writer salons, book swaps. like free events for the community as well as like smaller ticketed things. But we're really excited to collaborate with you all and kind of have our ears to the ground and see what the community wants, and just be known as a place for arts and culture happenings across the river.
Yes, and I've heard a lot of great things just listening to the panel and questions, and as the vision is shared, the importance of these neighborhoods, bridges, the history that comes with it. It's a vision that we've been wanting to be aligned with for a long time, and so it means a lot to us to be here.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up by saying that the first few months we'll have our cafe concept, as we mentioned. We're actually fundraising for a modular food prep kitchen, which will extend into a wine bar with food, and including that, we'll do some like meal prep services for the communities. We have some ideas for some subsidiary nonprofits that will feed the community. So we really want to be as integrated as we can be with you guys. We have a fundraiser coming up in 2 weeks to raise our initial funds for our opening. We're going to paste that in the chat. It's a jazz night, so you'll get a kind of a taste of what we're hoping to offer at our location, from coffee to the music. And yeah, we're really excited to be part of this community. Thank you, Lindsay, for all the links.
Yes, that was really fun, actually, linking. That is the update from us. Chair White, I'll turn it back to you if there are any questions or further comments.
Yes, thank you so much. Let me start with Commissioner McKinney. This is Commissioner McKinney, Single River District. For those who don't know where this is a part of the Bridge District. That is the Howard Road. So you're going down Howard Road past MLK, that's taking us to Frederick Douglass Bridge. That's the development that's coming right there. So kind of bridging the Navy Yard and Anacostia. So they're talking about some of the retail space underneath the apartments. But Commissioner McKinney.
So we're talking about the new development that's coming. That's supposed to be on the other side of the building they already built.
Good question. I'm not sure.
No,
Lindsay?
sorry. Thanks for the clarifying question. So this is still in the first phase. So still in the building where we opened the first 700 units. That ground floor is inclusive of Atlas, now Cafe Chino, and a few other retailers that we'll be announcing early in 2026.
So are you asking for something or you just giving an update?
Nope, just an update. Just wanted to start to familiarize both the business owners and neighbors in the community with each other. So just an update, no ask.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Lindsay, we got a question in the chat. When does phase 2 start?
Great question. Yep. We just are wrapping up our entitlement phases with the district on phase 2. So we'll likely see a groundbreaking for the second phase early in the first quarter of 2026. And that phase, if y'all recall, will be highlighted by a mass timber high-rise apartment building. This will be the largest structure of its construction type in the country. So we're excited about that next phase.
Thank you. Thank you for the updates. Any more questions from commissioners, or you all can also connect directly with the Bridge District for updates.
I'll drop my info in the chat as well, and I'm happy to respond to questions just so we can move along if that's helpful.
Yeah, you do have one in the chat, which would be great to answer. It just came in. How does the Bridge District work with other businesses under Anacostia bid? I think
I mean, we're definitely still kind of finding out the formula. I think the easiest way that I've seen us do that has been through pop-up events and special events that we're hosting. But we, have often been in conversation directly with Christina Noel and the Anacostia bid to figure out how we kind of expand that for future phases starting as early as January. So definitely open to ideas and continued collaboration. Certainly if any of those businesses are looking for additional temporary space or retail space, we're open to those conversations. But yeah, we've seen a lot of great success through events like Therma that feature grounded plants, and other pop-up events where a lot of the businesses have been able to come out. GCD Smokehouse is an active food truck vendor for a lot of our events. So
Yeah.
I will drop my information in the chat if there are any businesses that want to partner, and just come out and tour and see what some of the offerings are. Happy to do that as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And then maybe you can send some information to some of the newer commissioners that don't know how this is a significant size project, Commissioner Foreman, that has like 6 phases.
Yeah, that's a great. I'll send we have a fact sheet. I can send that to you all first thing in the morning with all the key information about the project overall.
Yeah, and I know some commissioners did tour, like Commissioner Davis, and I believe Commissioner Raymond. So, all right, thank you, Redbrick, for this update. Okay, we're gonna keep this train moving. We have Cedar Tree Academy that's here, and then DDOT, and ending it with Friendship Place. So Cedar Tree Academy, like I said, you all have been in front of us probably like 5 times over the last 2 years, and maybe we can get like a very high level recap for anyone who doesn't remember, because you were just here in like October.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so
you.
much for allowing us to be back in front of you. I'm Dr. Henderson from Cedar Tree Academy. Eric from our team, who has my name on his screen, but he's going to present the project tonight.
I am going to give the Cliff Notes version. We just want to make sure everyone's apprised and make sure there's no confusion because, to Commissioner White's point, we did come to you late last year and even early this year on the original proposal. Unfortunately, certain financial factors changed and Cedar Tree had to pivot, and we did want to show everyone the images that we will be presenting to the Zoning Commission in early February. So again, just the project history. We were approved earlier this year, and then we came to ANC 8A with a revised project, just the broad strokes of it back in September. Now we have formally filed the modification request with the DC Zoning Commission. I can skip over this. Everyone knows the property. Again, the revised proposal and the genesis of this is that after we obtained the original approval, there were significant changes to Cedar Tree's potential funding, including reduction in potential federal funding from the Department of Education and the cuts to that agency. With that being said, Cedar Tree remains fully committed to realizing its goals for the school, both to improve the school building for existing students and to hopefully expand and attract new students. The revised project will have the same number of classrooms, 32, as the approved project. It will also feature a cafeteria, kitchen, gymnasium, library, and parent center. Just to give you an idea, the approved project's on the left, and you can see the building on the right side, whereas the revised project is going to be incorporating the existing school building and doing a rear addition. You can see on the bottom of the right-hand image there. Just to give you some ideas of the visuals, this is a perspective from the parking lot. You can see, again, the existing building being incorporated with some facade upgrades to try to have a consistency in terms of architectural styling. And then you can see the rear addition in the background. This is a closer up view of the frontage on Howard Road and a closer up view of the rear addition. And then you have just a rear view actually at the back of the property, and you can see some architectural flourishes with an exit stair there. I'm going to skip over this. This is just a zoning comparison chart, but I'm happy to go through it. Shane would need. And then to summarize, we will, because of having to incorporate the existing school building, we will be asking the Zoning Commission for additional relief. In particular, the rear yard requirement. We will be providing no rear yard. We are going to build right up to the rear lot line that abuts the federal property next to the highway. There are also certain design requirements when you have a building that fronts on a designated street. That includes a minimum ground floor height of 14 feet and a 50% frontage dedicated to display windows and entrances. Because we are now incorporating the existing school building, we will not be able to fully meet those requirements. We are actually providing one more parking space than in the original project due to some zoning, I guess, grandfathering. We actually have to meet the current 37 spaces and we're reducing it by three. So we are requesting that kind of minimum amount of relief. And then finally, there is a requirement that all new buildings in the North Howard Road Zone achieve LEED Gold certification. While the rear addition on its own will be LEED certified, the project as a whole cannot achieve LEED Gold certification due to challenges of incorporating an existing non-LEED building. So we will be asking for that relief. And with that, I am happy to answer any questions that the commissioners or the community might have.
Hello. Hello, Eric and Dr. Henderson. Thank you all for coming back to us again. So the question and the support that you're asking for this time, you all will be making the building a little bit smaller, right? Is it right? So the zone pattern would change because you're going smaller versus bigger this time, right?
Correct. Yeah. The overall building, the height and the total square footage is smaller than the original proposal.
And when do you all supposed to be planning to start this project once the zoning hearing comes through and you get approved for it?
Yes, we hope to start it in June, once we get approval from zoning.
Okay, so what are you asking for from us today?
We would like for you all to support the changes. I'm sorry, Eric, go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Dr. Anderson. You were right on.
Yeah, we're just asking you all to, you supported the initial project, and we just like for your support for the changes to the project.
No worries.
Thank you.
Because we have to go through a zoning hearing process again because of the amount of changes. We will technically be needing and asking for the ANC to support this revised design.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions from any other commissioners that's online now?
Thank you, Commissioner McKinney, for co-facilitating. Commissioners who weren't with us last term, we supported this in the last commission, but it's a new design and it's smaller. Thank you so much, Ms. Dr. Henderson and Eric. And we will be taking a vote either tonight or when the commissioner who's in that single member district raises it. Okay, we're almost finished. Couple more updates. I think we have Christopher Rutledge from Friendship Place, who was our neighbor, but I don't think is our neighbor anymore. And then we'll end it with DDOT, my favorite agency to come.
Yes, hi everyone. Thank you for having me on today. I don't want to take too long. I know you have other things you want to do, but I really just wanted to let you know that Friendship Place is here. We're an organization that has been around for 34 years and we work throughout the city. We actually do permanent supportive housing for folks who people have vouchers, and we do the case management for them. And certainly we have people who are coming out of our buildings in our programs and who reside throughout the district. And I know mentioned earlier today are some issues pertaining to how to help unhoused individuals during these cold times. We have a drop-in center that's on Wisconsin Avenue that is open to anyone who wants to come up to that, and it's an opportunity to get out of the cold and also get some warm clothes and warm underwear. So we're able to help do that. And that building is open Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 9 to 12 and 1 to 4. But we serve people in many other ways. We have an employment program that is open to anyone who is interested in coming down. I mentioned the drop-in center that's available. We do street outreach in different places throughout the city. We also operate two buildings that are of service in the community. One is the Aston over in the West End, and one is the Brooks, which is a family facility over on Idaho Avenue. We're here to serve the community and to help in any way possible. So I dropped my email in the chat, and I also dropped a link to our impact report in the chat if you want to learn a little bit more about some of the work that we're doing, the different programs we operate. We also do a holiday drive for children. We have lots of spots still open there if anyone's interested in signing up to buy a gift for one of the 500 children we serve. We try to be whatever anyone needs us to be. And, we like to think we're the place that people can come and hear yes, where so often they've heard no. And so, we have different programming that serves people in all sorts of different ways. And, I'm happy to answer any questions, but I also put my email in the chat. And, I'm happy to respond to any emails, or if you have any questions, pass it along to the right people in the organization here at Friendship Place. And we're just trying to make life easier for people during really difficult times.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing this information with us. Does any commissioners have any questions or comments for Chris tonight? Who, like I said, used to Friendship Place used to operate a transitional housing on I think it's
Valley Place.
Valley Place. Okay, I was gonna say Pleasant. I got confused. But any other commissioners? All right, well, thank you so much, Chris. We will be sharing out your contact information so that folks can have it. And I think thank you for the offer. We're helping with some of that outreach. Maybe the commissioners in Fairlawn can connect with you.
Very good. Happy to be of assistance.
Okay, thank you.
Take
All right,
care.
folks, so we are going to end the night with DDOT, some updates.
Hi, good evening, commissioners. Good evening, community members. My name is Preston Judy. I'm the Ward 7 and 8 planner for DDOT. I'm also the project manager for the MLK Marionberry Area Safety and Connectivity Study. Project name is a mouthful. It's the area closest around the intersection of MLK and Marionberry, formerly Good Hope Road. It does include the historic Anacostia safety improvements, which I was here earlier this summer, around the time that we issued a notice of intent. Unfortunately, as you might know by now, it's December of 2025. Implementation has been pushed to 2026. We're working on wrapping up environmental documentation to ensure that can move forward. It does have the upside as it will should be more closely coordinated with the implementation timing of the corridor project, which will also have some safety improvements going on from a different project on Marionberry Avenue itself, east of Minnesota Avenue. No material changes to the design plans or anything that we previously announced, which does include some circulation changes in historic Anacostia, as well as implementing full-time parking on the block in front of Union Temple. If you have any questions, I'm going to post the project website. I am working on getting it up to date with the revised timeline for implementation next year. And I think that's it. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you, Preston, for the updates. Any questions from the commission? I know this might be new for some commissioners or communities. Any questions at all for DDOT while we have DDOT?
Yes, I got a question. I'm still working on you all removing some material that was left behind by some of your contractors there on Minnesota Avenue around S Street. And I've been trying to get this done for like 6 months. But you all do take care of the tree boxes and all that type of stuff, right? But I'm not able to have it done. How can I get this done?
I'll have to defer to my colleague Keith Jones, who I believe is on as well on that one with our community engagement division.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I contacted Keith before, and I know he's a good guy, but I'm getting a bunch of flack from these folks, and in fact, the other day he had to stop an individual from picking this big piece of concrete up. I thought he was going to launch it in someone's car. Okay, so That's the biggest. I saw some of the other improvements. I talked to some of the guys and the improvements that you were going to make on so Avenue, and then even down here 17th Street. They seem pretty good. I guess it'll help out with the traffic and parking and stuff like that. I mean, overall, I give you a good grade. I really appreciate that. But I need that concrete gone, and it's up in the tree boxes all over the place. It's a dangerous situation. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Foreman. Keith, I don't know if you're still on. Usually I know you join our meetings, even though we share you with Ward 6. But let me know, Keith, if you're still on and you want to be elevated. Any other questions from the commissioners for Preston or the community? Oh, Keith, you're on. You want to be elevated to talk? Thank you.
But now you're the only black.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, Keith.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you again, Preston, for the update, and thank you all for having us. To answer your question, Commissioner Foreman, so I was going to clarify that with DPW because, as you can imagine, agencies always go back and forth regarding who manages what. So DDOT manages the actual tree, like we prune trees, but the tree box space itself, it could be DPW. But if there's concrete, I guess, slabs in the tree box space.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
But yeah, that's the thing. There's concrete, big old boulder like concrete. It had been a bags or something. They said, well, we don't use bags, but we saw the contractors using bags to help mix to put in a new light pole there. So
okay.
Yeah, so those bags have been there, and we got bags all along that corridor there. Some of the neighbors, we got some of the stuff out of there. But, I had to stop them from actually throwing this in the trash, man, because I know the trash man wouldn't be able to handle it. But we had the problem where the grass was growing in the tree boxes and stuff like that, where I saw a couple of kids, stumble. They didn't get hurt, thankfully.
Okay.
But it's still a problem there. I mean, the other thing is, we crack it up and get it up ourselves, man, but
it's heavy.
Yeah.
Sure. I remember this. Is this by the park down by what's that,
right.
16th in
Yep.
Minnesota?
Yeah, right there, Essen, Minnesota, and 16th
That's in
Street, man.
Minnesota. Okay.
There's also some more on 22nd and in Minnesota as well.
22nd in Minnesota, 16th. That's in
Yeah.
Minnesota. Okay. I'll probably walk over there tomorrow and get some pictures and get it over to someone to look at, either DPW or if it was a contractor, find out who had a permit there and hold them responsible. But either way, try to get it removed. So thank you for following up on this, Commissioner Foreman.
Okay, Keith. Thank you so very much.
Hey, Keith, I have one follow-up question, unrelated. We're having a lot of surface space disturbed in the Fairlawn community between just various different projects with DC Water. How do we assure that these are going to be repaved? And, I know it's not the right time to do it. So who follows up to make sure that the street is actually completely repaved and there's not this, sort of hole? And that's not a hole, but I mean, it's not like it was, initially.
Since thank you for the question, Commissioner Donohue. So typically, DDOT has a public space inspection team that will go out. Either we get a complaint or we do a follow-up that will make the party responsible for repaving that street. That includes putting it back the way it was. If there was a speed hump there, putting that back. If signs were taken out, flex posts were taken out, it has to go back to the way it was, the way we put it in place. So typically, we have 2 inspectors assigned to Ward 8. From DDOT that will come out if we get a complaint or be proactive to look at that location. So I know now they're working, so they wouldn't do it now, unless there was a complaint about something else similar. But when they finish the project, they should have a timeline in place that would have them repave the road, the sidewalk, put the signs back the way they were before they disturbed it.
And is there any, just out of curiosity, is there any time frame that they're required to do that by?
It varies. So it depends on their permit. It's when the permit ends, yeah. But also, no, they can also extend their permit as often as they need to. But yeah, as soon as the permit around that time where it ends, they should be already in place with contractors getting that repaid, getting it redone. And if it's not done, of course, our PSI team can go out there and investigate and find out what's going on.
One last question, I'm sorry. Is it automatically inspected or is it upon complaint inspected?
That's a good question, actually. So I know we have our small team that does this. If I get a complaint about it, of course, I will, get it out to the PSI team. I do a lot of that with Ward 6. I get a lot of those emails. But if you see one in Ward 8 and you see where there's an area that where's a contractor, whether it's Pepco, whether it's one of our contractors at DDOT, DC Water, Washington Gas, they're all tearing up the roads right now. If you see this and the permit is already expired and the road is not looking sightly or the sidewalk is not repaved, please email me. You can also put in a 311 request. 311 is called public space inspection. Either call it in or take pictures, do it online, do it on the app. Just notify somebody in case it falls through the cracks.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it.
No problem. I see a question, sorry about from Donna Brown. Not sure if this is DDOT or DPW, but can we repurpose the parks at 22nd in Minnesota and discourage the current activity? Ms. Brown, I live right around the corner, so I'm very familiar with it. The park is not owned by DDOT. I believe it's owned by DPR. So I think they're going with that as far as redoing the park, adding lighting. I'm not sure, but that's not something that DDOT would touch. But I'm familiar with that park.
And maybe, thank you. Maybe Commissioner Foreman can give an update on that park, or Commissioner Davis, because I believe that's the parks y'all been working on. But I want to make sure we go to Commissioner Ritman too, and then come back to the chat.
Hey, good evening, Keith. How are you?
Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Just trying to get back to I still have that water issue at the 2500 block of Marionberry Avenue. We are in the beginning of the winter months, so it's starting to ice over. There was an email that Quentin sent out some time ago asking about a status on he flagged that property and some cleanup. So I have not seen any progress on anything that we have talked about in the past couple of months. So if you can follow up with me in the very near future so we can get an update on what's going on.
Okay, yeah, I think that was a DC Water thing. So I believe I recall that email, looking at it now. We're waiting on DC Water to do a follow-up on that, actually.
So, Commissioner Redmond, tomorrow or this week, we can get together and call that hotline because it's a hotline number that they gave us to contact and follow up on. But I just resent the email. No one reached back out to me. So if we can get with that DC Water hotline, that number is specifically for that leak right there.
But I also think you also mentioned something about flagging that area of land that can never get cleaned up. And I don't know if Keith is somehow or another, you had tagged him in that email.
Yeah, I flagged DPW, and I'm also going to reach out to Robert Butler as well to flag that again because it is still trashy over there. So I'll flag that again. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, with Keith, the follow up, please. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't hear.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay.
I was saying thank you so much. Do we have any more comments for Keith? I think that's it. I was going through the chat. I think maybe some of the Fairlawn commissioners can maybe reply to Ms. Donna Brown, because she's asking about some stuff along Minnesota Avenue. I'm not sure whose SMD that is. And then I would say to Tina, we'll try to get the update. We're hoping that the council member can introduce that moratorium in the next council year. So starting in January. I'll go ahead and elevate Tina because I saw you raise your hand. And
that was by mistake. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, just to answer the update, we're hoping that they get introduced in the next council period.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. Anything else for DDOT, or we're all good? All right. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Preston. Thank you for joining and support. And we appreciate you all being here. All right, commissioners, let's go into some votes for tonight. I think we have like two or three from Commissioner McKinney's single member district, and then Commissioner Donohue. I don't know if you have that vote ready for us tonight too. Any other votes from commissioners that we want to add? Okay, so I'll turn it over to you, Commissioner McKinney, to move the first vote that we support Anacostia bid to expansion proposal that will include the 11th Street Bridge District being in the Anacostia bid, and also to Berry Farms. So Commissioner McKinney, can you move that motion?
Yes, I move that motion to support the bid and expansion of Berry Farms. Is at the 11th Street Bridge and the park, Anacostia Park.
Thanks, Commissioner McKinney. So not the park, but Commissioner McKinney moved a motion to support the expansion of the 11th Street, of Anacostia bids districts to cover 11th Street through Berry Farm. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Commissioner Foreman has seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Donohue, are you going to vote? Okay, we'll come back on Donohue's vote, but motion does pass right now, 5-0. The next vote is in Commissioner McKinney's single member district again to support Cedar Tree Academy's BZA application that is reducing the size of their school. Commissioner McKinney, over to you.
I'd like to move the motion to expand Cedar Tree as the zoning. Expand.
Thank you so much, Commissioner McKinney. So Commissioner McKinney moved to support the Cedar Tree Academy BZA application, which is reducing the size of their building from the one that was previously approved. Can I get a second?
A second.
Seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 All right, Commissioner Donohue. Ritman, you said aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Motion passes unanimously 7-0. Okay, and then last tonight, unless Commissioner Donohue, you have a vote for us to send a letter.
Yep.
But let's do Commissioner McKinney's last vote is to support the Talbot Street community and maintaining their green space through a resolution that is asking the city to keep that space green and not to sell it to, well, it's already been sold to a developer, but to take it back pretty much. And to keep that space green by all means necessary. Commissioner McKinney, do you want to move a motion?
Yes, I move the motion to support the resolution letter to keep the Talbot Street tourist green space to the residents. The letter of support for a resolution.
Thank you so much. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. So Commissioner McKinney moved it. Commissioner Foreman seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passed. Thank you, Commissioner Moore. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, Commissioner Donohue, if you have a vote that you want to offer up for us to do, and I thank you for bringing that Fairlawn event.
Is it still up? Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I'd like to propose that the commission forwards off a letter to Commander Hickman um, with our concerns that representatives of 60 and 70 should be required to be at our ANC meeting, which is previously scheduled, and is something that they have plenty of time to plan for and to have staffing there for to represent MPD in is one of our most sought at question and answer type of opportunities for our residents. And so it's real important that they are there. And it should also note that 6D was missing from our this evening's meeting without any sort of excuse or any notifying us of it. Yeah, I don't. Is that a motion?
So Commissioner Donohue moved a motion to send a letter to the 6th District and 7th District Commander urging them to make sure that we have 6th and 7th District presence at all of our ANC meetings.
Can I ask a question prior to the vote?
Yes, you can ask a question prior to the vote.
Okay, my question is, how soon are they notified? What is the notification process, and were they given advance notice for this meeting?
Yeah.
How much a notice were they given?
So this actually, with both of the council members, the Mokers and the 6th District, they all have this been on their calendar for years, and that's why all three attends. And they get a reminder from Zoom at the same time we start getting the Zoom reminders. So like a week out, they start getting the reminders, and then the day of or the day before, I personally send an email to both 6th and 7th District commanders and saying, will you be attending the meeting tomorrow? Because I now like to do it right before too, just so it could trigger them if they don't. But they're just like they're on the reoccurring webinar host list, just like we all are. That's why they're able every month they get the same emails, but they know, this meeting because it's been the first Tuesday for at least like 7 or 8 years. But that's a good question. But yeah, they're aware.
Okay, and it's mandatory. This is a mandatory thing. I just want to ask these questions so I know how to vote.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can mandatory anything. I think our motion can be to urge the MPD commanders to have presence on all of the 8 ANC meetings, but it's not something we can like say you're mandated by law because there's no law that they have to ANC meetings.
I was just asking because Tom's language was making it sound like it was mandatory.
Yeah, so I think we can do the request as a move a motion to send a letter to the 6th District and 7th District commanders requesting the presence of both of those agencies at every ANC general meeting.
I mean, at the very least, they could give us the common courtesy of notifying that we're not going to have someone.
Yeah. Does that change, Commissioner Davis, feel comfortable with you requesting their presence at the ANC general meetings? And I will say, just from not to put 6th District on the spot, but they attend less than 7th District, and they've been doing that since I've been a commissioner. So.
I think request is a strong word if it's something that is voluntary, so we can ask if they.
I don't really think that it should be voluntary, but I mean, we need. I personally think
this is a volunteer job for us, so.
I know, but this is where we hold MPD accountable. So I think it's really important that we put strong language in to insist that they have somebody here. Just my offer, my thoughts.
Well, if you're going to say insist, I will vote yes if we ask, but if it's not a mandatory thing, then we cannot say that we mandate them to do something that is not mandate, that we can't enforce. We can ask.
Would you feel comfortable with the letter being a request? Because that's like an ask, like we're requesting the.
As long as it's an ask, I will feel comfortable with an ask, but not to mandate somebody to do something that is voluntary.
Well, we don't have. I don't think we have the power to mandate it, but I mean, we do.
Well, I'm just going on what you said.
Okay, I want to make sure we move it along. I'm sorry, not to cut anybody off. So we have the change, Commissioner Donohue, to change it to move a motion to send a letter to both 6th and 7th District requesting their attendance at ANCAA meetings. Commissioner Ritman?
Fair question. No, I I would love to have 60 more involved in our meetings. I don't see them at all. Unless I attend their meeting, I don't hear from them on my side.
Yeah. Okay, so let's redo that. Any more?
One question: Do they ever get back with you and say that, what were the circumstances for them not attending?
Sometimes they do. Like they'll be like, "Oh, something came up," and they'll reply. But not always. But I send it to, like I said, it's usually in. I can show you all. It's in the caps and the subject. Are you attending our meeting? And that triggers it. But I do think, having some type of letter, and sometimes I'll call to the commanders or the captains, but oftentimes they send the captains for the PSAs, right? Because that they have more of the information of like what's happening in nitty gritty. So, but they get the same reminders we get, and then I personally send them a reminder every meeting. I don't send any reminder but to MPD, just FYI. I don't send it to anyone else but MPD.
Okay. And I have to agree with Commissioner Davis on there with the wording.
Do you feel comfortable with the request, Commissioner Foreman? Because it's ask.
Yeah, I think it's more of an ask. I mean, like I say, we can't command them to do something, and we all know that sometimes honey and all that good stuff helps out.
Exactly.
So yeah, so that might be one of the things. After being in the military so long, I understood that it was different, and things that you say they weren't. It might even sound like a request, but it was a command. And these guys, they have that structure somewhat, but now you're going to say to them, I demand that you come to something.
For the record, I didn't use the word demand, but
but something that's really a request, and they're gonna act. Someone may very well turn negative with that.
Again, for the record, I didn't use the word demand.
Thank you. So, Commissioner Donohue, I'm gonna ask you to reintroduce that motion. I move a motion to.
I move a motion to send a letter to 6D and 7D, requesting that we have representation from each department on our monthly pre-scheduled ANC meetings.
Thank you so much. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Okay. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All right. So motion passed. Thank you, Commissioner Moore. Motion passes unanimously. Any other votes tonight? Okay. Well, that is it from the commission. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy New Year. Thank you, Miss Donna. We will continue to work on S Street, as you all know. DC government moves slow, but we'll continue to work with it. And CJ, we will finalize it. Thank you. The time is now 9:10 and we're adjourned. We will see you all the second Tuesday of January. Let's actually look at that date. Okay, good. The 1st of January is the second week. So January 6th, we'll see you at our next meeting. Happy holidays.
Wow, that's right. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, happy New Year's, and please make sure you are in touch with your commissioner or that commission to know when we're going to be having that town hall about public health and public safety so you can attend.
What is the details for the ANC holiday party?
Oh, the ANC, the office of ANC.
Friday, you all going? You all going? I'm going.
Hey, maybe we can get a